Ishiki has 3 main things that made me put him on the meta list. For 1 is his jutsu, the fire style jutsu. For 2 is his grab, and 3 is the hit priority he has within his first, I'll say 3 hits, right? All 3 of these things must be avoided while also protecting against what is more than likely going to be a powerful set of supports, right? To do this, a few things have to be thought about throughout the entirety of the battle. Firstly, and the first thing that you need to understand and assess is the distance of your main character, the character that you use the most. Is he a close range, a mid range, or a far range fighter? Me, for example, I main Heavy Sasuke or White Cloak Sasuke, whatever you'd like to call him. So I'm definitely a close to mid range character, but Sasuke is way more proficient in close quarter combat. And because of this, you need to determine a support that is going to aid your style character. So for me, for example, because I'm close range, I'm going to want to pick something that is not so in the way of the battle. I don't want to have to, because 90% of the time with a close quarter fighter, you're going to have to call out your support, close range by your opponent, and you don't want them or their supports to knock yours out of the way and nullify them. So what I do to get around this is I make my close quarter fighters have like quick supports, like air supports that you could jump and call out quickly. And the reason for that is because they're not on the field so much. They're not directly in the way of the fight, and usually when you call them out, they kind of are off to the side just a little bit, and when you're in the air, they're just that much more out of the way. So it is still definitely possible for your supports to be knocked out of the way, of course, but it limits that to a smaller amount, if that makes any sense, when you do that, or when you decide on a support that way. So now if you're using somebody like Shino or Madara, for example, it almost gives you more space to have a support that can stand between you guys without the worry of losing him. So just for an example, somebody like Orochimaru or Pain, for example. Okay, now we have our team figured out and we understand our team and how to use them. So the next thing that we have to do is figure out theirs. You got to go into battle. It doesn't have to be ranked, but that's where most people are fighting the hardest. That's why I choose to do it. But you want to go into a game and use Ishiki, use Jigen, use Minato, use all of these powerful people. Use those supports, the Naruto, the Kakashis, all of them, the Lees. Use all of these things. After you do that, you'll get a way better understanding for how they work, as well as where their openings are. And just to elaborate on that a little bit, all characters have points in their combo where it's either harder to or literally impossible to either cancel or dash, right? If you use these characters, you'll find out where they are and you'll be able to use that against your opponent, and that'll give you the upper hand that your opponent doesn't have, especially if they're also not too fond of your character, because chances are they haven't used your character and they don't know the ins and outs of your character either. Okay, so that knocks all the basics out of the way. Let's jump into battle and start getting into battle tips now. So again, it's going to be expected that these players have strong supports. You're almost never going to get somebody with a strong meta lead and not have a strong support as well. It's almost always going to happen. You need to be prepared for that mentally and keep a cool head. Evading supports come first, and then you go on the offensive. It does not always work. There obviously are players who are good enough to corner you, imprison you, that sort of thing. But it does make a difference. Combined with laying traps and utilizing the counter, which is a very, very, very important mechanic, you have a recipe for winning against almost all meta spammers, not just Ishiki, not just Minato, not just Jigen. Everything about these battles are going to require pretty much 100% of your focus. So each time you lose against something like this, it's going to seem almost infuriating and frustrating. But the most important thing that you could do is remain focused and ask yourself at the end of that battle, what move or what mechanic did this person use that took priority and ended up giving him the battle? If you come down and determine that the battle is a connection issue, which is why you're not winning, I would avoid that player. It is not the meta, it's not the character, it's not about overcoming anything. At that point, it is just the netcode, and you simply need to avoid that player. With all of that being said, I sincerely hope that I at least help somebody out there sort of grasp a concept or give them a little bit of an edge on these, quote, meta spammers. So, I hope you guys all enjoyed this. Let me know below some of your tips, what you guys do to get around some of this stuff, because I'd love to know too. I'm not perfect. I'm not going to get everything into one video. I don't know everything about this game. I just play it, right? So I'm curious what you guys think about what I said, and also what you guys have to say. So let me know down below what your guys' tips would be for me to avoid some of this stuff. I also made this video kind of short and sweet, so if you guys were looking for like a more refined version, kind of like I did for Storm 4 with the top 10 tips and tricks sort of video, if that's something that you guys are looking for, definitely let me know down below and I'll get something like that in the works. This was kind of just a short and sweet sort of taste of what could be, and also definitely to help and inspire people to keep playing the game. So let me know what your thoughts are. If you guys would like that, definitely let me know. Thank you guys, and peace out.